Hello everyone, I'm Katrina with New Horizons Designs. Today we're going to be making this pocket scarf. You can wear it in two different ways, wrapped up all nice and cozy and buttoned up on your shoulder, or you can unbutton it and wear it more like a regular scarf. Except with this scarf, there is a pocket, a hidden pocket on each side. So it's nice to be able to take your money, your credit cards, anything that you want to take with you but don't want to put in your purse or even your hands if they get cold. And there is a pocket on each side so you can store whatever you need and wear it just like that. So this scarf can be made with stretch knit fabric or with woven fabric, and it is for adventurous beginners or intermediate sewists. And we will go ahead and get started. All right, before we dive in, make sure you have all your things. We need two 11-inch zippers. Mine are 14 inches, but that's okay. We can cut them down easily. A seam ripper, a 1-inch button, your zipper foot, your buttonhole foot. I love Wash Away Wonder Tape for zippers. It holds everything in place nice and neat. You get a clean finish. Of course, pins and clips, your thread, anything like that you'll need. You'll want interfacing, one for your button and one for your buttonhole. So you'll need two pieces of interfacing. For the zipper layer and bag, you're going to cut two of your, this is going to be on the inside of your scarf, but it will show. So I have two of these, and then you'll want two for your lining, which is your pocket bag inside. So you won't see this until you unzip your scarf. So it can be a contrasting color or it can match whatever you prefer. Then you'll need one of your inner layer cut on the fold. You'll want an outer layer cut on the fold as well. This will be the main fabric that shows while you're wearing it. And you'll notice on your pattern piece, you have a button marking and a buttonhole placement, but you'll want to pay attention to this picture right here. It's showing that you want your button up on the top left of your fabric, if you have your fabric facing right side up, and your buttonhole on the bottom right of your fabric. This is folded in half, but if this was the whole piece, you'll have your button up here and then your buttonhole down on this side. So there are opposite corners on your fabric. You can go ahead and place your interfacing on the wrong side of this piece on your buttonhole and your button, and then we'll set this part aside. So I'll go ahead and do that right now. And make sure to follow the instructions on your interfacing. All right, now we're gonna go ahead and set this piece aside. So now we're gonna take, this is our inner layer. You'll place it right sides up, and you're going to take two of your pocket pieces and you're going to lay these right side together along the short end, and we're going to sew along this edge with a basting stitch because we're going to rip this stitch out later. But we're going to sew with the basting stitch 5/8 seam allowance, and I like to do that in a contrasting color because it's easier to seam rip later. And we're going to do that on both sides. So you'll take your other side, lay your fabric right sides together, and you can pin that in place. And we're going to baste 5/8 seam allowance along this edge right here. Okay, the next step is we're going to press this seam open. All right, so here is where the Wash Away Wonder Tape comes in handy. You'll just take two strips of it and lay it right down the middle of this seam allowance. This will help hold our zipper in place really easily. I have heard of people using glue sticks to hold zippers down. I have never done that myself. I have also seen where people use masking tape. I'm not sure how that is for your machine, but whatever, you can pin your zipper in place whatever method you prefer. I just really like using wash away Wonder Tape. So that peels off. You've never used Wonder Tape before, and it's like a double-sided tape that will wash away. And we're gonna line up our zipper right in the middle of this seam. So right to the edge, and just make sure that zipper is right on top of our seam that we basted. And that will stick right in place. We're gonna go over to our machine, and from the right side, we're going to stitch with our zipper foot. I already switched my foot out. We're gonna feel right along here and just guide our machine right along the zipper, and we're gonna sew down one side, go over, and then turn around and go back up the other side of our zipper. And we're gonna repeat all of these steps with the other side of our scarf. So you will be able to feel the zipper under here. You're gonna have to go by feel, and it'll go right up against the edge of your zipper foot. Don't forget to change your stitch length back to a normal stitch length instead of your basting stitch, and back stitch at the beginning and the end. Now that you have your zipper stitched in place, you're gonna go through and we're gonna seam rip that first seam we put in. That's why I like doing contrasting thread, because it's easier to see. Go ahead and do that all the way across. Don't rip through your seam over here. All the way across on both of your zippers. Okay, now that our seam right here is open and we can open our zipper, we're going to attach the pocket bag. Go ahead and zip your zipper back up. You're gonna lay your inner piece wrong side up, and you're going to take one of your pocket lining pieces and lay it right side down. And you're gonna line it up with this seam right here. What we're gonna do is we're going to stitch along this edge, this seam allowance, to attach the pocket bag. And then we're going to baste around the edges of your fabric to hold it in place. And we're gonna do that with both sides of our scarf. All right, now that we have our inner layer and our pocket bag complete, you can see inside there's the pocket bag. We are going to first make sure, if they aren't already, your zippers are not right in the seam allowance. You want them inside so you don't run them over. With your inner piece right side up, you're gonna take your outer layer of fabric right side down, and you're gonna line that up all the way around, clip it into place. All right, now that that's all clipped, we're gonna start on the side seam. It doesn't matter where you want to start. We're going to leave a hole though, a 3 or 4 inch hole, enough to where you can turn the scarf after, if you want to mark that with a pin so you know where to stop. That's always a good idea, so you don't just get in a groove and sew your scarf all the way closed. So I'm going to start here, work my way around using a 5/8 seam allowance. When you get to your zipper, if it's still sticking out and there's zipper teeth, make sure you go really slow over that area. You might want to hand crank it just so that you don't break a needle. All right, now that we have stitched all the way around, we're going to, if you have any extra zippers, go ahead and cut that off. And we're gonna snip all 4 corners so that we can get a nice clean corner. Just make sure you don't cut into those stitches. All right, with all of our corners snipped, we are going to turn it right side out. And you'll really want to press those corners out so you get a nice clean corner. All right, now that you're turned all right side out, we're going to top stitch right along the edge so that we can have a nice finish, but that we can also close up our hole. All right, so here is your opening. You're gonna wanna press, you're gonna fold that in by the 5/8 and press that in place. So when you top stitch around the edge, that'll close up our hole and our finish will be nice and pretty, and we're almost there. All right, now that we have this top stitched all the way around, We're going to go back to where our buttonhole placement mark is on your scarf, and we're going to make a buttonhole for your 1-inch button. It's always a good idea to put a pin in the end of your buttonhole so you don't rip right through it. And then you can go ahead using a seam ripper, go and cut your buttonhole open. All right, so we have our buttonhole. The last step is to go to the other side of your scarf and attach your button, and then you'll be done, and you have a pocket scarf with 2 hidden pockets that you can wear 2 ways. And there you have it, our finished pocket scarf. I hope you or whoever you make this scarf for enjoys it as much as I do. Make sure to hit the like and subscribe button to join the family, and make sure you don't miss out on any of our upcoming videos. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time.